Thank you so much. You've seen our pictures and gotten our introduction, so I will let Vern kick us off.
Thanks, Carrie. So, one of the things that I found when I got to Johnston Community College, and I've been there all of 2 years and 10 months now, are some things that I think won't be at all surprising or shocking or strange to most of you. Enrollment had been kind of sluggish. It had been in a downward trend for quite some time. The demographics in our general area were moving upwards, it seemed like, but most of those folks were over 50, and the high school population was kind of flat. So, we were a little challenged with getting our classes in. In addition to that, given our location, we're competing with some much larger, better funded community colleges. And so that was hard for us. And then of course we had, the kind of general things with just affordability of our programs. A lot of our students come from very disadvantaged economic backgrounds. And even though our costs are pretty reasonable, still it could be a challenge for folks to come to us. In addition to that, there's the other things. We struggled mightily for years with closing equity gaps. We really, we had lots of different initiatives over the years. I don't know that we had really made much progress though. So that was something that I think had been troubling the institution for a long time. And then finally, if you're not familiar with the way that we do things in North Carolina, we have an awesome way of funding colleges. You get your money based on how many students you had the year before. And in addition to that, you don't keep any of your tuition money on campus. So that even when your enrollment does go up, that puts you in quite a financial bind, that you're going to have more students on campus. You've got to do more, but you don't get any more, at least not for an extra year. So as I say, we often, as the ancient Hebrews did, we need to learn to make more bricks with less straw. And the college had been doing that for a very, very long time. So anyway, that's where we were when I got to campus, and we had, I believe, just kind of started working with Element 451 at that time.
Yeah, and I got to JCC a couple of years before Dr. Lindquist came, and we had a very decentralized system of communications. I mean, very traditional. We didn't have a CRM. We were doing a lot of manual outreach using Google spreadsheets, hoping that students would come back and talk to us. Very broad messaging through a mass notification system where we were able to sort of segment our audiences, but it was not personalized, certainly not individualized. And we were very reactive with our strategies, even though we had a strategic enrollment communication plan. Other things that would just pop up, we would say, okay, well, the students didn't know that today was the payment deadline because nobody's paid. So let's send out a robocall that they need to pay. And we would just send it out to all students. And maybe that wasn't true that they needed to pay. So that caused a lot of confusion as well. And then, how we moved from traditional to transformational was really, when we did it wide scale across campus was when we implemented Element 451. And we started small, which I'll talk about, but, now we have 10 AI agents working alongside us every day. And that has happened in just the last, 2.5 years. But we are able to take this AI powered CRM along with some other software and tools that we have, a data warehouse, which is Zogotech, and use that for predictive insights rather than the reactive things, so that we can have this proactive support intervention system and messaging, and also that individualized student communication, which is really, really important in this day and time. not just our students, but we all expect Amazon-like service. When we need answers, when we need answers, and we want them right now. And we just weren't able to do that before we implemented this.
So even though one of our goals with using the system was obviously to help us do more with less, uh, that wasn't the main reason we wanted to do this. We really wanted to give our students better service, to make them feel more like they're part of the institution, to make them feel more comfortable, and to make us just better at what we're doing generally. So we don't, of course, we do want to not replace humans, but actually augment the humans that we've got. So it's not about getting rid of people, it's about making our people better. So when I got to campus and realized that we weren't really fully utilizing the CRM, once I picked myself up off the floor and said, "Great, we've got a CRM. Let's fully implement it." I made it clear to all of my senior leadership that we were all in, that this is something that this institution needed to do right, and needed to be successful at. I was lucky enough to talk Carrie into being the champion of the system, because to undo some of the things we had been doing for such a long time is a big task. I'm not sure she understood how big it was when she said yes, and that's awesome for me. So the tool is great, but the tool can't fix siloed systems. And we had all kinds of silos built up over the course of many years, with thick walls that seemed almost impregnable. Lots of processes, lots of pieces of paper that people just absolutely loved. And we needed to get our systems fixed. But fixing our systems also meant fixing our people's way of thinking about their jobs. So to say, hey, we're going to change what you do doesn't mean we don't love you, and doesn't mean we don't think you're working really hard. You are. We're just going to help you work smarter. So in addition to getting Element working, we got a central data warehouse situated, started connecting the two together, and then made sure that all of our departments got trained on all of these systems. That's a heavy lift. I mean, I can say all those words very quickly, and it sounds like you can just do it very quickly. You can't. We're not done. We've been working on it for more than 2 years, and we've made a lot of progress, but there's still, even at our college, a great deal to be done. What people are beginning to see, though, is the results of this. I mean, we have had, I believe, kind of off the charts successes since we've got Element working. Since 2021, our enrollment in just curriculum, so credit-bearing courses, is up 61% in that period of time. I don't know if there's a college in 5 years that's grown at the community college level more quickly than that by a percentage basis. That kind of growth gets attention at the state level. It gets attention locally as well. And it did help us to get folks to understand that this is working, that it's worth doing, and that it's going to help us to be more financially solvent as an institution, and also just a better institution for our students. So, we needed to make sure to get those wins advertised so that people could see in our own publicity to ourselves that it's doing well, and then work on getting the buy-in and the cultural trust that we needed as an institution. That's still the part we're working on. I think that it's still going to be a while, and maybe that's one of those things that never does get completely done. Because as soon as we get the change that we've already put into place completely set, I'm sure we'll be changing it up again.
Yeah, and it does evolve so quickly. And that's something that that is difficult for people to keep up with sometimes. But I do think that the transformation into this and the shift that we have made, it has broken down, busted, I'll say busted, so many silos, like Jamie says. we work together in so many ways to support our students now, and we make sure that we're all in concert in doing that. And it's just been a remarkable process. And then when people see that it is working for our students and that it's also working for them, that's when they start to trust it. That's when the buy-in comes. Because Element 451 was a curse word on our campus for about a year. It was a tough thing for people to understand, and it is a tough thing to understand in a lot of cases. But I think that showing those quick wins really helped move that process along.
One of the things that helped us do this, and Carrie did a great job of this, is we had to get people to understand how much easier their jobs were going to be once they started to use these tools. And I knew that we were on the road to Wellville when the director of our CNA program, our nurse aid program, who is one of our most senior faculty and certainly one of our most outspoken people on campus. If she has an opinion, you will also know her opinion very quickly. Um, she loves this system. And when she talked about how great she thought this system was, I said, we're on the right path. If we can convince her, we can convince anybody.
Yeah, for sure. And so great segue, Vern, into how important those champions are.
Yep. It's clear that I think had we chosen someone other than Carrie to take this ball over the line, I'm not sure we'd be as far down the road as we are now. You've got to have someone that you not only as you know as an administrator trust, but somebody who can build trust as well. And then you've got to make sure that they've got all the support in the world because there's going to be pushback. There's still pushback today. Once a week, I have to talk Carrie off the ledge to say, listen, no, we're good, we're right, we're doing the right thing. Keep at it. It's going to be fine. The other thing that we do, and we try very hard, I'll bet you at all of your institutions, if you ask people if the communication is working well, the answer will be a resounding no. There's not enough communication. I've never been at an institution where people thought there was enough communication. Usually, what that means is that people don't think you've asked them for their opinion enough. It doesn't mean that you're not being as clear as possible. Anyway, what we are doing is just putting everything out there for everyone to see. So, all of our meeting minutes are transparently available from the board to the committees. All the discussions we have are open to everybody. And we let people know where we are with this project as we're going along. So there's a weekly, very, very nice email that I send out. I say I send it out, Carrie sends it out. That way it's pretty and everything is spelled right. And it says what we're doing on all the major projects on campus, including this one. And it reiterates over and over again, this is our goal for the institution. We need to move the dial on retention. We need to move the dial on equity gaps. And the way we're going to do it is by being better connected with our students to understand where they are. And this is the tool that's making it happen. So that culture shift is the hardest thing, but it I think is the most important.
Yeah, and as we said just a little bit earlier about the leadership alignment, we definitely needed a president who came in and told his cabinet, this is really important. This is how it aligns with our mission. And, it was kind of a top-down approach. And I think that really matters. I've seen other colleges, trying to implement this without that kind of support. And it does make it a little bit difficult. And I saw the comment about the being stuck in the buy-in. I think that this is not unique to higher ed. We just do it a little bit more than other industries. But I think that we can talk things to death And we think that buy-in means talking to everyone, getting them to say yes before we start doing it. And I think in our case, we just started doing it, like we said, getting those quick wins and building that trust and showing people that this really does work. And, so how do you start and why does it work? Our mission is to change lives. And we can see every single day within our conversations on the back end of Element that people are interacting with our humans, they're interacting with our AI agents, but we are keeping these students from inquiry to completion. We are supporting them holistically by using this system. We're giving them individualized information that they need to keep them on the path. And that is how this aligns with our mission, as well as our data warehouse. And also, we have available on campus some paid Chat GPT accounts, and everyone has access to Copilot. So there are some ways that they can create efficiencies in their own world. But I think, the implementation of Element across campus is what really aligned that strategy with us, changing lives and supporting student success. And, we've talked about starting small with those pilot projects. We really started with the chatbot and the RFI form. And then we added admissions. Then we added the front desk at our Student Success Center. Then we added advising. So we took small groups and did some pilot projects and created workflows that they needed to help make their lives and their students' lives better. And once we started doing that, we would then have people call us and say, oh, can you add us? Can you add us? Can we do this? And, we still are doing that across campus. So I think that's how you scale it too, right? I think it's important to let people know that this is not going to take their job. In fact, we need them in on this process. We need them to have the complex conversations with students that need to be had when they are falling through the cracks, or hopefully not even there, because we also use this system to do early interventions so that they are getting academic and non-academic support, which also this whole thing closes those equity gaps. If you have a connection of a human who can help you while you're also getting this information about support systems and how you can complete your educational journey, that is closing some of those gaps. And also, just our enrollment alone shows the access to education that we've given the residents of our area.
So, one of the practical ways that this works. So, if you apply to the college, we send you. For Carrie, I forget if it's a text or an email, but basically it says, "Hey, welcome to the college. Click here," and when you click on it, you get a web page, and the web page has your name on it, and it says, "Hey, here are all the things you need to do so that you can have a schedule for the next semester." And all the things that you've done are green, and all the things that you haven't done are, hey, you still got to do this yet. And then as you do them, or as you don't do them, the system automatically, without anybody telling it to, says, pokes the students who need to do something, the potential students. And if you ask a question while you're trying to do that, all of those questions get saved forever. If you call in, the call gets transcribed and it's in your file in Element forever, so that anyone who goes to look at what we've been saying to a particular student can see everything. So the students really not only get the sense that we know about them and care enough to try to keep track of all these things, we actually do care about them and keep track of all of these things. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're just getting more of the students who click, yeah, I think I might be interested in welding, or I might be interested in HVAC, or I think I might want to be transferring to NC State at some point. We remember all of those things, and we help them get there. And if they have a question at 3 in the morning, they ask the chatbot. And if the chatbot can't give them the right answer, somebody sees that in the morning and they reach out to them and they take care of it. So the time between you having a question as a student and you getting your answer is very short. And that's something that we struggled with mightily beforehand. So I mean that's one practical way that I think we're getting way more of our folks who are inquiring to be actual students.
Yeah, and we're at the point now where after this semester, we're going to be able to measure those retention and completion rates that were lagging for us in the beginning, but we'll be able to see those numbers, which I'm very excited to see because we think that it's working. Um, and of course, I mean, we just have so many more students, and we wouldn't have been able to communicate with that number of students had we not had this.
Yeah. So I mean, having Element as the CRM has not only made it possible for us to do a great job keeping track of all these students, but honestly, our enrollments would not be where they are now if we were not able to do what we're doing. So it's been a really good partnership with us so far. So the enrollment pipeline is something that I think people have talked about at the college and probably other places too for a long time. People understand it now because you can see it. You can visualize it. Here are the number of students who've done this. Here are the number of students who have yet to do that. And here are the things that we've done to get them to move from this stage to this stage to this stage. And we can see how effective all of these things are. And the ones that aren't effective, we don't do those anymore. And instead, we try something else. So we already know that the enrollment pipeline is ridiculously strong, and that our students love the relationships. And you might think that having an automated bot send something out would seem impersonal, but we have it set up so that students who are with a particular success coach, if they haven't done something, the bot automatically sends an email from the success coach's email address to say, "Hey, you haven't made your appointment to make a new schedule for the spring. Here are the times I'm available. Click one of those, and you can have an appointment." And they know that their advisor cares about them, even if their advisor didn't think to send that email. It doesn't really matter. Uh, so yeah, that's where we are, and we're obviously sort of pretty happy.
Yeah. And I saw one question that said, does this work in a multi-campus environment? It does, absolutely. And we have a couple of other, satellite locations. We have found a great deal of success using this for automating processes and continuing education, which is so manual here. I don't know if it is for everyone, but it's often very manual and a lot of paperwork. And so we've seen a lot of success there, and some of our satellite locations have a lot of those Con Ed programs. So yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah, and there's a question about the CRM we had before this. The CRM we had before this was a spreadsheet
Yeah.
and a couple of legal pads and a person who worked in an office down the hall. So no, we did not have a CRM. Which when I got to campus, I found yeah, surprising.
You were taking the horse and buggy approach.
Holy moly! Well, we use mules here in Johnston
Oh,
County, but yeah.
oh, okay. Here we go. We got another one. How long did it take to incorporate into a seamless communication system, blending humans and bots?
It took a little while. I'll let Carrie fill in the details. This is another place, though, where having the right people in the right seats really makes all the difference. So I'll let Carrie talk about her awesome team.
I absolutely could not have done this without our CRM coordinator, Tyler Albright, who is now our communications manager. She built many of the workflows. But, when she got here, I was like, okay, this is what I want this to do. Go forth and make it happen. And she did. And so we actually built it so that it's a check-in system for our front desk at the Student Success Center. So any inquiry that we're getting, whether it's a walk-in, a phone call, whatever the case may be over the web, it's funneling into Element. So we have really a lot of student information in there. We don't just take it from an RFI. But how long did it take? With some great people, a couple of years, our IT team as well, and admissions. But a couple of years before I felt like, okay, this is rocking and rolling the way that I'd like for it to, and now it's all going to change.
Well, and to get all the departments on board was kind of a, I mean, we make it sound like it's easy to. Really, you're going to meet with people individually. You're going to meet with departments individually, and you have to have some hard conversations. You have to say, you know what, this spreadsheet that you just really, really love is going to go away. If I see that spreadsheet on your screen, I swear I'll take your screen away. We're gonna do this with everybody working on the same side of the fence. It's going to be okay. So department by department and sometimes individual by individual to make it happen. You know who the people are on your campus who are the influencers, who are the ones who really will help you make those things happen. You've got to get those relationships going, and you've got to really lean on them to help you.